so excited that we are celebrating Easter in this really weird and new way. Normally we gather together and have linger longer out on the lawn after our worship gathering, and we have a big party and we eat food and we just celebrate. But just because we can't do that doesn't mean that we can't still celebrate. So today, we're gonna be doing all sorts of games. We're gonna get to connect with one another, but I have a couple of things. First, I wanna make sure that everyone knows this is for you. It doesn't matter if you're a kid, a teenager, or an adult. We want you to participate. We wanna see how you are celebrating because it really makes us feel connected together, and it also encourages us to celebrate with you. So here's one of the things that we're doing. We are going to be giving away 3 different gift cards to local restaurants in our community. And so we want to see how you're celebrating with us today. So feel free throughout the day to take pictures, post them using the hashtag FCC Easter 2020. If that means nothing to you and you have no idea what I'm saying, you are welcome to also email them to me at Tarah, T-A-R-A-H, at santacruzfaith.org. And at the end of this, we're going to pick 3 lucky people that we are going to send a gift card to so that after this, you can go and have some delicious goodies and food whenever you want. So, are you ready to get started? Ready? All right, let's go.
Easter, a time for fake grass, plastic eggs, these things, chocolate bunnies, and people dressed as bunnies. And then there are the weird parts of Easter, like fake grass, plastic eggs, these things, chocolate bunnies, and people dressed as bunnies, which is interesting. But what does all this stuff have to do with Easter? And if this holiday is about more than candy and wearing uncomfortable clothes to church and lunch with your relatives, what makes Easter happy?
Okay, I don't know about you, but one of the things that I do not like at Easter time are the peeps. I think they are so gross. I don't like the texture in my mouth. I don't like the just weird crunch taste. I don't want to put them on any of my desserts. I really don't want to do anything except play a game or do some weird science experiment, and that's what we're going to do today. So here, this is how this is going to work. We're going to split up into 2 teams. So at your house, you need 2 teams and 2 different peeps or a marshmallow. Now, if you are at home by yourself, that's okay. I want you to pause the video, FaceTime a friend, and get them to do this along with you. So this is what you guys are gonna do. You need to have 2 different peeps, 1 peep for each team. If you don't have peeps, remember, use those giant marshmallows that you might have lying around the house. Each peep needs a name. Come up with something clever and funny. If you have Sharpies around, you can feel free to decorate those marshmallows or decorate those peeps. Now you're gonna need a toothpick. Each peep needs to put a toothpick inside of it so that it's sticking out because your peeps are going to joust. We are about to have an amazing peep jousting contest. So once you get those toothpicks inside of the marshmallow, you need to stick them on a plate that can be go into the microwave. Stick it in the microwave and set the microwave for 45 seconds. Now, you're not gonna let that go for the whole time, believe me, it gets really, really crazy, but you at least wanna start it like that. Now, once you've got that all together, gather around the microwave and let's see what happens. Whichever peep or marshmallow stabs the other peep or marshmallow first is the one that wins, and we're gonna see what happens next. Now, don't forget, feel free to capture this with a photo because we're gonna have a little bit of a contest later, right? Are you guys ready to go? Feel free to pause that video and come back in just a minute. Okay, so how did it go, you guys? I have to admit, that was pretty awesome, but I realized I should have warned you. You needed a little bit of some wipes or something to wash your hands. All right, are you guys ready for another game? For this next game, you need a bunch of socks and some buckets or some laundry baskets. Now again, if you don't have anyone else with you to play this at home, grab a friend, FaceTime them, call them, and see if you guys can do this together. Go grab those things, call your friend if you need, and come back, and I'll explain all the details. So pause, go get your supplies, and come right back. Okay, did you guys get all of your supplies? All right, so this is what you guys are gonna do. You need to take all those socks that you collected and dump them on one side of the room. Then you need to take the laundry baskets or buckets, whatever you were able to find, and put those 2 on the other side of the room. The challenge is you're gonna pick 2 people at a time to race against each other. They need to take a sock, find the match, roll it up into a ball or kind of like an Easter egg, and then take it and try to throw it into the laundry basket. Now, this is going to be on the honor system if you don't have a scorekeeper with you, but you could choose someone to count the socks per person to see how it goes. I'm going to put a counter on the screen for you so that you can kind of keep track of how much time you have left. But if you want to, you can pause the video and do this as many times as you want so that everyone gets a turn. And don't forget, if there's someone else with you, take a picture because we're going to have a photo challenge at the end of this, okay? Are you guys ready? All right, ready, set, go! How did that go, you guys? Wasn't that awesome? I know I had tons of fun with that one. Okay, so I know that today is Easter and we are celebrating how happy Easter really truly is. And we're going to be talking more about why Easter is so happy. But before we get into that, I know that so many of us, we miss our friends, we miss our family, and we would love to be celebrating together. So I have a challenge for all of us to do together, okay? So pause the video and look at the screen and choose one of the challenges that we have posted for you. And all of us are going to go and do this together, okay? So pause, find a way to connect with your friends, your family, using one of these challenges. Oh, you guys, that was so much fun. Now, I know that Easter is really different this year. I know that we normally celebrate in so many different ways, and we're usually all together celebrating, hanging out, getting to sing together and do so many different things. But just because we don't get to do those same things doesn't mean that Easter is any less happy. In fact, Easter is not just about playing silly games, getting to do a bounce house after worship together, getting to do face painting, and getting to gather together. Easter is about the story that is thousands of years old, that is so important, and yet there's something so simple about it and beautiful that you can even tell it with laundry.
In the beginning, God created everything. He formed people in His very own image. But then, we turned away from God. Sin entered the world, like a dark stain. Still, God loved us so deeply that He made a plan to rescue us. At just the right moment, God sent His very own Son, Jesus, to live among us. Jesus healed hearts, and minds, and bodies. Thousands gathered to hear Him teach. Instead of giving lots of new rules, Jesus turned things upside down by making it simple. Love God. Love others. After 3 years of traveling and teaching, Jesus and His disciples entered Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover feast. Huge crowds gathered to welcome Him. But while the crowds cheered for Jesus, the religious leaders made plans to arrest Him. He was turning their world upside down, and they wanted Him gone. As Jesus celebrated the Passover meal with His friends, He told them that He would be leaving, but would return. His friends didn't understand. That night, one of Jesus' followers, Judas, led soldiers to arrest Him. The religious leaders gave Jesus a fake trial and then sent Him to Pilate, the Roman governor, who could have Him killed. Pilate found Jesus had broken no law and tried to release him. But a mob called for Jesus to be killed. Pilate gave in and handed Jesus over to the Roman soldiers. Jesus was forced to carry the heavy beams of his own wooden cross. On a hill called Golgotha, the soldiers nailed Jesus' hands and feet to the rough wood. The soldiers and people who passed by laughed and mocked him. But from the cross, Jesus asked God to forgive them. Finally, Jesus called out, "It is finished." Then he died. The earth shook. Rocks split open. Even the soldiers cried, "Surely he was the Son of God." One of Jesus' followers took his body and placed it in a tomb cut from the rock. A huge stone blocked the entrance. Jesus' friends were devastated. They had believed that Jesus was the one God promised, the one who would rescue them, but now he was gone. Their whole world had turned upside down. Jesus' friends stayed hidden in fear for 3 days. But early Sunday morning, Mary Magdalene, a close friend of Jesus, hurried to the tomb. She planned to anoint Jesus' body with special spices. As Mary neared the tomb, she saw the stone had been rolled away. The tomb was empty. Mary turned to see a man standing near. She didn't recognize him until he said, "Mary." It was Jesus, alive. Jesus told her, "Do not hold on to me. I have not yet ascended to the Father. Instead, go to those who believe in me." Jesus, God's Son, became like us to lay down his life. Through God's power, he defeated death for all of us, and sin was washed away. One day, he's promised to return, so we can live with him forever.
So what did you guys think of that story? Wasn't that really awesome? I love the way those folks put together that story so that we could see it with laundry. What a creative way of doing it, right? Now, I love the Easter story. I think it's so beautiful and so powerful. But it's interesting to me that it's not just a story that impacts one day throughout the whole year. It impacts us every single day because Jesus came to the earth to die on a cross for every single one of us, because he loves us so much. And he doesn't ask us to do anything in return. He didn't ask us to do anything before he did that. He did it out of his love for us. But it's interesting that what Jesus did empowers me. It changes me, and it changes my life. In fact, it makes me realize that no matter what I'm facing, I can have hope that I can get through it because I have Jesus who got through death. He is alive. He came back to life. And so I want to think about it like that, like I can because Jesus is alive. And I bet there's things that you're thinking too, like you can do something because Jesus is alive. And so I want us to pause for a moment and maybe think about, how does Jesus coming to the earth, dying on a cross and coming back to life change you? Maybe you can answer it in this way, saying, I can because Jesus is alive. So I want you to stop for just a minute and try to answer some of these questions that I'm going to give to you. Maybe you want to call a friend and talk to a family member. Maybe you want to ask someone else sitting next to you, or call a friend and ask, what do you think? And see, how can you add to this list? All right, you guys, I hope you're having some awesome conversations together. I know we're having some fun conversations, and I really hope that this celebration continues all throughout the day as we remember why Easter is so happy. But here's the deal. We don't want the celebration to end. And so I have another challenge that I hope just kind of launches you out to have some more fun. So here's the thing. We have one last photo challenge, okay? Remember, we're giving away 3 different prizes today, so you want to make sure you keep trying to post those pictures. So this is the challenge. I don't care where you are, whether you're in your PJs or in your crazy fancy Easter garb. Go outside, find a place in your house, and take a picture of showing how you're celebrating together. And don't forget to use the hashtag FCC Easter 2020, or if that doesn't make any sense to you, feel free to email me at tara@santacruzfaith.org. All the pictures, all the fun, we're already seeing that take place, so we want to see that more. So at the end of that video, don't forget to go and take those pictures and send those so that we can see how all of us are celebrating and remembering why Easter is so happy.
The greatest day in history. Death is beating, you have rescued me. Sing it out, Jesus is alive. The empty cross, the empty grave, life eternal, you have won the day. Shout it out, Jesus is alive. He's alive. Oh, happy day, happy day. You wash my sin away. Oh, happy day, happy day. I'll never be the same. Forever I'm changed. I'll never be the same. When I stand in that place, realize meeting face to face, I am yours, Jesus, you are mine. In this joy, perfect peace, earthly pain finally will cease. Celebrate, Jesus is alive.